I want to make very clear that my comments today are not about the Chinese people, and certainly not about Chinese Americans who contribute much to our country and are frankly often the victims of Chinese Communist Party aggression themselves. Rather, when I talk about the threat posed by China, I mean the government of China, in particular led by the CCP. The CCP's dangerous actions, China's multi-pronged assault on our national and economic security, make it the defining threat of our generation. Now, when I described the CCP as a threat to American safety a moment ago, I meant that quite literally. There has been far too little public focus on the fact that PRC hackers are targeting our critical infrastructure, our water treatment plants, our electrical grid, our oil and natural gas pipelines, our transportation systems, and the risk that poses to every American requires our attention now. China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if and when China decides the time has come to strike. They're not focused just on political and military targets. We can see from where they position themselves across civilian infrastructure that low blows aren't just a possibility in the event of a conflict. Low blows against civilians are part of China's plan. But the PRC's cyber onslaught goes way beyond pre-positioning for future conflict. Today, and literally every day, they're actively attacking our economic security, engaging in wholesale theft of our innovation and our personal and corporate data. Nor is cyber the only PRC threat we face. The PRC cyber threat is made vastly more dangerous by the way they knit cyber into a whole of government campaign against us. They recruit human sources to target our businesses, using insiders to steal the same kinds of innovation and data that their hackers are targeting, while also engaging in corporate deception, hiding Beijing's hand in transactions, joint ventures, and investments to do the same. And they don't just hit our security and economy, they target our freedoms, reaching inside our borders across America to silence, coerce, and threaten some of our citizens and residents. But I can assure you, the FBI is laser focused on the threat posed by Beijing. We've got cyber, counterintelligence, criminal, and WMD experts, just to name a few, defending against it. And we're working in partnership with the private sector, partnership with our allies abroad, and partnership at all levels of the U.S. government, especially the NSA, Cyber Command, CISA, and ONCD, whose leaders I'm honored to be here with today. In fact, just this morning, we announced an operation where we and our partners identified hundreds of routers that had been taken over by the PRC state-sponsored hacking group known as Volt Typhoon. The Volt Typhoon malware enabled China to hide, among other things, pre-operational reconnaissance and network exploitation against critical infrastructure like our communications, energy, transportation, and water sectors. Steps China was taking, in other words, to find and prepare to destroy or degrade the civilian critical infrastructure that keeps us safe and prosperous. And let's be clear, cyber threats to our critical infrastructure represent real-world threats to our physical safety. So, working with our partners, the FBI ran a court-authorized on-network operation to shut down Volt Typhoon and the access it enabled. Now, this operation was an important step, but there's a whole lot more to do, and we need your help to do it. To quantify what we're up against, the PRC has a bigger hacking program than that of every major nation combined. In fact, If you took every single one of the FBI's cyber agents and intelligence analysts and focused them exclusively on the China threat, China's hackers would still outnumber FBI cyber personnel by at least 50 to 1. So as we sit here, while important budget discussions are underway, I will note that this is a time to be keeping ahead of the threat by investing in our capabilities rather than cutting them. We need to ensure that we sustain and build on the gains that we've made that have enabled us to take actions like the Volt Typhoon operation I just mentioned. The budgets that emerge from discussions underway now will dictate what kind of resources we have ready in 2027, a year that, as this committee knows all too well, the CCP has circled on its calendar. And that year will be on us before you know it. As I've described, the PRC is already today putting their pieces in place. I do not want those watching today to think we can't protect ourselves. But I do want the American people to know that we cannot afford to sleep on this danger. As a government and a society, we've got to remain vigilant and actively defend against the threat that Beijing poses. Otherwise, China has shown it will make us pay. Thank you and look forward to today's discussion.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
It's a super weird question for me to ask, the title of this, but it's a serious question. It's one that you should consider, which is, what would you do if they brought the power grid down? And by they, I mean if the government purposefully brought the power grid down. And I'm not asking that question for fun. I'm asking that question because the World Economic Forum is predicting that a cyber pandemic, you can look this up, they've been running exercises about it this year, is inevitable. You're probably saying, what is a cyber pandemic? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we even talking about? Well, first and foremost, the reason I'm even paying attention to the World Economic Forum and their exercises is because they notoriously, in 2019, ran an exercise for a coronavirus pandemic that oddly all became true. I mean, without one slight difference, they said that the coronavirus was going to escape from a wet market in South America. Of course, when the coronavirus swept the world in 2020, they said that it escaped from a wet market in China. You can still look that up, by the way. That's not a conspiracy theory. They simulated that coronavirus pandemic. It was the World Economic Forum in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University. And the website is still up, and they say, the coronavirus pandemic is inevitable. And then boom, it happened the very next year. So people say it's a conspiracy theory to believe that they knew that the coronavirus pandemic was going to happen. You don't have to believe it was a conspiracy theory, or you can believe it wasn't a conspiracy theory. It's up to you. I don't really care. The point is that they made the prediction, they called it inevitable, and then it happened immediately. So for me personally, that signals to me that I should probably pay attention the next time the World Economic Forum makes a prediction and calls it inevitable. And lo and behold, they are predicting that a coronavirus pandemic, a cyber pandemic, is going to happen, and that it is once again inevitable. So if you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they ran it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it would look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of it as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge. If this sounds crazy, dystopian, and like a nightmare to you, first and foremost, this happens in other countries, right? Obviously, in Cuba, when the government needs to stop people from communicating, they just bring down the power grid, right? When the uprisings were happening in Cuba, I believe that was earlier this year. Coronavirus time feels like, I don't know if it was the end of last year or early this year. They just brought down the entire electrical grid. But of course, Western nations would never do something like that. If they do it, it's because they need to do it, not because they're becoming evil communist dictators, but because they would need to do it for our benefit. So they were talking about the government bringing down the power grid. And until they come up with a vaccine, I'm not kidding, this is their words, not mine, a vaccine of sorts for the internet, where they would be able to cleanse it and purge it of all of these things that are making it vulnerable. Among those things, they brought up Bitcoin, which is so funny. That one thing that the government can't get a handle on, that is representing a threat to them and the financial markets, their control of the financial markets, would be Bitcoin. And suddenly, in running the simulation, they realized that Bitcoin, could potentially be a problem. If you think I'm kidding, you can look this up. It is called a cyber pandemic. And it's something that every single person should be paying attention to, just in case they magically get it right again, like they did about the coronavirus pandemic.
You guys, right now it is 5 a.m. in New Haven, Connecticut. I want to share this dream that I had. I want to share this dream. I don't know if it meant something. I don't know if it's a warning, but I literally woke up from this dream. Right now, I'm in the bathroom, about to get ready for work. This dream has to be a warning, and it's from the government. I'm gonna share it. I was on the bus, like the CT transit bus. I was on the bus on my way home from work. It was a sunny day outside, on my way home from work. And I'm on my phone, and I was gonna make a phone call to my mom to check on her. This is a dream, okay? Keep this in mind. This is a dream. And as soon as I was about to dial my mom's number and call her and check on her, all of a sudden my phone blacked out. Not just my phone, the whole entire world, everybody's phone, even on the city bus, everybody's phone blacked out. As everyone's phone blacked out, it was a message at the same time. And all you hear is dun, 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 dun. This is a warning. This is a warning. This is a warning. Everybody lost electricity. Cars, buildings. There was no electricity at all. It was like the world just shut down, blacked out. Everyone on the bus is looking so confused. They're all looking at their phones. Our phones are pitch black. And all you hear is, this is a warning. This is a warning. This is a warning. The next thing I knew, I look outside the window as I'm on the bus. I look outside the window and I see people killing each other. I mean, smurder. Everybody, including myself that was on that bus, was panicking. Like, we were all afraid. We were in panic mode. But as we're all looking out the window from the bus, you can see nothing but people smurdering each other. I'm talking about left and right. It was so graphic. It was so graphic that I got scared in that dream. And I started having a heart attack in that dream. To the point where I woke up and I started sweating. I jumped out my bed. My back was sweating. My chest was sweating. Everything was like, I was just hot. I was sweating and my heart was like boom, 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 boom. I said all that to say this. People might not know that dreams have a meaning to it, but I feel like dreams have a meaning to it. And I don't know what this dream means, but I'm gonna tell you this. Y'all better be vigilant.
All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachab, Radash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect, pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. As you can see, this video is about cyber attacks, a possible coming cyber attack. All right, and this is not just hearsay. You saw Klaus Schwab, the founder and the head of the WEF, talking about a cyber attack, a massive cyber attack that affect the whole electrical grid, water treatment facilities, communication, so forth and so on. All right, a massive cyber attack. You know, and this is one of the talking heads for the elites, man. If you don't know what the World Economic Forum is, it's where they get together and basically tell you their plans. You also saw Candace Owen talking about the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and with the whole Crown 19, how they were saying that it was inevitable that we were going to have a pandemic, and then the following year, boom, it happened, right? So her logic is logicking, if I can say it like that. Well, you know, she's saying, well, if they said that that was imminent and it happened, it will be wise on her part to listen to what they're saying is imminent again. And that is a cyber attack. You see? Not just that, you also saw the FBI. They were giving warnings to the Senate for years now. All right? And they were saying that China was gaining access to critical infrastructure here in the United States for years, for 5 years plus. You know? I've even heard 10 years. And this is, once again, the whole electrical grid, all communications, all banking, all medicine, all transportation. You know? So, hey, pay attention to this, man. And it says in the scriptures what? That the Lord is going to smite Egypt with the plagues before. And, you know, the Lord going to hit him with some more too. All right? So, hey, keep your ear to the ground. And watch out for the cyber attack, man. I didn't get to clip this last video. It was from a brother, GMS. I don't know his YouTube handle. But it was a Edomite, a Russian Edomite, talking about some, they're planning a cyber attack at the end of the quarter of 2025 and the beginning quarter of 2026. The beginning quarter, well, the ending quarter of 2025 would be October, November, December. You know, and then the first quarter will be January, February, March. So around the end of this year and possibly hitting somewhere between that and Passover. Hey, we got Day of Atonement coming up too, not too far down the line too. So hey, this is a time, hey, get right, do the best you can. But I want to get Revelations 11 and 8. To prove that this is Egypt. America is spiritual Egypt. All right. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city." A great city is talking about is Babylon. America is biblically known as Babylon. Babylon comes from the Hebrew word babal, which means confusion. This is the land of confusion. Plenty of videos we've done on that, but you can get into it. You know, not just the confusion part. Also, America holds a lot of ancient customs of Babylon, like birthdays, Christmas, and some other things as well. But this is also the land of confusion. You got the man under the woman. That's not the structure. You got the woman above the man. Right? Did it not say that a new thing has come into earth, that a woman shall come past a man? That means to go around. The woman can go around us right now because of Esau. You know, she goes around the authority. You know, and you got the children, they rule the household. You got men wanting to be women. They're dressing up as women. They're on hormone therapy. All right, taking estrogen. All right, getting man boobs and cutting their rods off and getting mangina surgeries. And you got the woman, she wants to be the man. She's taking testosterone. She's hitting the weight room. She's cutting her breast off. All right? You got men in drag that have the red dress thing that just went on, man. All right? This is nothing but confusion here. Everything that's supposed to be right side up is upside down. All right? Continuing, it says, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Right? This is spiritually Egypt as well. Egypt really means bondage. All right? And we are in bondage still today. You can find that it means the house of bondage in Exodus 20:2. All right, we're still in slavery this very day. Does not the scripture say we are yet in our captivity to this day? And I'm just loosely quoting it. You know, subject to payments. Look at us. That's us right now. All right? If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. All right? Let's get 2nd Ezra 15. I gotta look for that. 2nd Ezra 15. And 11, and we read, but I will bring them with a mighty hand. I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. One of the plagues that he smote Egypt, ancient Egypt, with was darkness. And this is how you know it's talking about not ancient Egypt. It's talking about spiritual Egypt. Because he's saying he's going to smite this Egypt like he did the other Egypt. All right? And he's going to smite this with some more too. You know, don't forget Jacob's trouble. All right? But one of those plagues in ancient Egypt was darkness, man. It was so dark, the darkness could be felt. But the children of Israel had light in the land of Goshen. Right? So, it's not too far-fetched that a cyber attack will happen and knock out all your power lights, all the electric. Everything will be pitch black at night. You know? So just keep your eyes on this cyber attack, you know? And China was talking about it will cyber attack America, knocking out all the electrical grid. FBI was giving that warning. All the electrical grid, all communication, all transportation, medicine, bank, and so forth, and so on. All right? When will they do this? They said when they invade Taiwan, because Taiwan is an ally to America, and America will have to come in the aid of Taiwan. So they said that since they know that, they're going to simultaneously cyber attack America. And right now, as we speak, they're doing drills around Taiwan. And the information had leaked that once, you know, they feel as though the time is right, these drills will just go live. All right, so this is just, you know, they just, you know, buying time right now, just checking shit out. But they will go live very soon, says them, you know. And this is letting you know that we're in the end days, Matthew 24, 6, 7. We're hearing of wars and rumors of wars. All right. But anyway, I hope it was edifying. I hope you could take something from it. And with that, shalom.